Hello everybody, happy Friday, welcome. Tonight I'm going to do a practice run of my long cross-country flight. So the FAA requires you to do 2 cross-country flights solo for your private pilot certificate. One is the standard 50-mile straight line down and back, and then there's the long one, which is 150 total miles, one leg of at least 50 miles, and 2 airports. So those are the criteria. And what's up? Well, happy Friday. So those are the criteria, and this is the flight plan that we came up with on Wednesday. We tested some of the points, but not the whole flight. So tonight we're going to go through the flight as I am going to do it. This weekend, hopefully. There's still some clerical things that need to be worked out with the plane insurance stuff. So assuming that it does go through fine, which it should, it will be this weekend, either Sunday or Monday. And this is the route. So we're going to start at John Wayne, and then northbound at 4,500 via the Special Flight Rules transition over LAX. We're going to stop at Van Nuys. Hopefully they'll have 16 right available for us. From Van Nuys, we'll do a full stop taxi back, and then we're going to fly to the Gaviota VOR, which is will take us just over Santa Barbara, and then head a little bit north and land at San Luis Obispo. We'll pull off the runway here, which is there's a really nice taxiway. The taxi situation is actually awesome on every airport that we've got planned. And so we're going to stop at Santa Barbara, get something to eat, go to the bathroom, get back in the plane, and it's a short little hop. I think this is 15 miles. No, less than that. Wow. Okay. So it's under 10 miles. We're going to stop at Oceano for some gasoline. They've got some cheap gas, and that is a bucket list airport for me. So we're going to get gas there, and the gas is actually a little bit easier to get to than it is at San Luis Obispo. So there might actually be some time saving. Probably not. It'll probably be a wash, but I also get to land at Oceano. And then once we fill up at Oceano, we will head down back to the Gaviota VOR, cross Santa Barbara at 5,500, and then we will hop on the southbound coastal route to Huntington Beach Pier and back to John Wayne. So that is my solo long cross country. I'm pretty excited for it because those are some historic airports and some very, very cool scenery going over the coast like that. So that is the plan. We're going to start it from scratch here at John Wayne and just go through the whole thing, see what it looks like. And you know, I've done this on most of the flights that I've done in the real world, and it's really helped me prepare for the real thing, to be able to actually see what the approaches look like, see how the airport might be. What's the word I'm looking for? Relative to like where the airport is situated based off of my route, how to get there, where to enter, what the likely air traffic control calls are going to be, all that kind of stuff. So it really has tricked my brain into thinking that it's actually already done this. So when I'm actually up in the plane, I'm able to focus on being safe and making sure I do everything correct instead of focusing any brain power on the navigation or what to expect. So hopefully we won't be practicing any emergencies, real or otherwise. On these, I will keep this as straightforward as I can, just because the purpose of this is definitely for training. So no emergencies tonight. We'll keep it straight up. I'm going to keep the, nope, that's not what I want to do. I'm going to keep the iPad up for the departure stuff just so you can see my notes and everything. But if I forget, let me know in the chat if I forget to leave that up, because I might do that. I do really like this scratch pad for writing down ATIS and departure information. So starting procedure 172S, super simple. I'm actually going to go through my maintenance report here and clean up all of this because it's likely that there might be some things that are broken. Yeah. Okay, replace, fixed. Yeah. The Rep Pack Cessna does not forget. Okay, first thing, master on, beacon coming on. Everything will start to whirl up. That should be out. We will yell clear prop. And then we're going to crack the throttle just a little bit, push the mixture all the way in, and then hit the fuel pump, which is right over here. I have a little switch here, though. Nope, that's avionics, my bad. Fuel pump for about 3 to 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 is fine. Got a little jump of fuel flow there. Now pull this out and crack the throttle about 1/4 of an inch there. And then we're going to go to both. And let's see if this thing will start the first time for us. That would be nice. Come on, there it goes. Okay. And then we're going to get it up to about 950 and then lean it out. So took a little bit, but that is a pretty straightforward start. How's the audio going for you guys? I'm not gonna die. I only use this practice. Okay, let's get that. Is gonna be mad at me for not being at 1,000 RPM. We would have had the flaps up or we would have had the flaps down from the pre-flight, but they are already up, so that's fine. And let's get our lights on here. Let's get our avionics coming on so those guys can boot up. And while the GPS is booting up, I will get the ATIS information after I sign into Pilot Edge. If you guys are interested in becoming a pilot or flying in real life, highly recommend pilotedge.net. Invaluable service in my mind, and it has helped me save a lot of money with getting up to speed on the radio communications very quickly.
Wind 260 at 7.
Go COM 2 for the ATIS.
10. Few clouds at 6,000. Few clouds at 10,000. Temperature 18. Dew point 9er. Altimeter 299er. Arriving and departing runways 20 left, 20 right. Visual approaches in use. VFR departures, contact clearance delivery, advise on course heading, altitude, and if flight following is requested. Read back all runway assignments and hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact. You have information Sierra.
Information Sierra. Okay.
John Wayne Airport, ATIS information Sierra. 0153 Zulu. Wind 260 at 7. Visibility 10. Few clouds at 6,000. Few clouds at 10,000. Temperature 18. Dew point 9er. Altimeter 299er.
Okay.
Arriving and departing runways 20 left, 20 right. Visual approaches in use. VFR departures, contact clearance delivery, advise on course heading, altitude.
All right, so that's good. I think the iPad may have froze here. Let's see. There we go. We alive now? We look kind of alive. Wiggle. Give me a little wiggle. Yep. Okay, we're cool there. Look at the ADS-B working. All right. Okay, so there is my ATIS information Sierra. Now we're going to be on the 220, and Pilot Edge might not actually give me 220, but we'll put it in there. That's what it would normally be. They also are not going to, in real life, not going to give me 121 or 128.1. So we'll see what they have to say once we get it. Sometimes they'll give me the 220. That is the actual correct.
Fly heading 080.
All right, let's move forward here so we can get in better shot of the radio, the control tower. We are hidden inside of these hangars.
November 90 Bravo Airport, talk, welcome 3 miles, reporting side.
How's the radio audio for you guys? Is that a good level? Okay, so we're going to Van Nuys via the Special Flight Rules transition at 4,500. Showing clearance, good evening, Skyhawk 53176 with information Sierra. We'd like flight following to Van Nuys at 4,500 via the Special Flight Rules transition. What's up, Puff?
Skyhawk 53176, German delivery, good evening. On departure, flight heading 240, maintain VFR at below 2,400. Departure frequency 128.1, squawk 7121.
7121. Okay, that's departure heading at 240 out of below 2,400 feet. Departure frequency 128.1, squawking 7121, 53176.
Skyhawk 176, reback correct.
Okay, reback is correct. All right, let's get this thing. We'll check this again once we're a little bit more lined up with something.
Going down to 3,000, negative.
So there's that, 240. Again, the real departure heading is 220, so it's a little bit different, but that's okay. And then we're going to be we're going to be at 2,400 here.
When you're already vectored for the visual.
Thank you for the spam, Nightbot.
Or doing a ILS and back to approach.
Hey Ernie, happy Friday. And then we're going to squawk 7, 1, 2, 1. We'll get that thing on help mode. Okay, so we got lights, everything there. We got fuel on both. We got fuel cutoff switch in there. We're lean for taxi. Throttle's good. We've got nav, taxi, landing, beacon on. Fuel pump is off. Master, battery, and alternator. Master mags. Looking good. We are good to go over to ground, which is 20.8. Are you going to GoPro the real flight? I enjoyed watching you and Brad fly around your house. Yes, Puff, I will definitely be bringing the GoPro on this flight for sure. So we'll have probably a two-parter on that one because that might be a long one. Showing ground, good evening, Skyhawk 53176, ACI West taxi with Sierra.
Sierra 4657, roger. Skyhawk 53176, German ground runway 20 right at Juliet, taxi via Bravo Juliet.
Okay, Bravo Juliet 53176, we're going to stop at the tower run up as well. Juliet. Don't know about that. Clear to the right, clear to the left. So once we do the run up, we'll request Kilo, because they would not send you off from Juliet. We're trying to keep it real, because I'm keeping it real, because I'm keeping it real. That was one of my favorite lines from Clueless, Donald Faison. Because I'm keeping it real, because I'm keeping it real. It's probably a really random one. This thing, get the nose wheel straightened up, looks good. I should probably also fix our 29er. It says 2990, so do I not have real world weather on? That might be why. Yep. Match real world. Okay, this will take. Yeah, there goes the altimeter. That's more like it. There we go. Okay. Yep, that looks right. All right. So parking brake set. Everything, doors are latched. Everything's good. Let's do another door to floor. We got fuel on both. Cutoff in. Mixture. We'll make that a little bit more rich. Lights. Everything's good. Okay, let's bring it up to 1800 RPM. Check the mags here. What's up, Cessna? Happy Friday. That one looks good. Let's go to the right side. That one looks good as well. Let's check the idle. Let's see if the cutoff for the altimeter or alternator. Okay, no. So this does not have. So in a 172, at least the S model, the alternator actually switches off at 700 RPM. So if you go below 700 RPM, the alternator is actually turned off, so you'll lose voltage. And what it looks like is basically if you turn off the alternator switch, see how the amps drop there? It basically does the same thing. If you guys can see that. So it does the same thing when you drop it below 700 RPM. So that's a good way to check for the alternator working or not. Slinzer, happy Friday to you as well. Okay. So let's get this going here. I'm actually going to get this flight plan in here just with the airport, so we have some easy distance reporting.
4657, contact Las Vegas approach 125.9.
Because I am going to be VFR going into Van Nuys.
November 90 Bravo, turn left, taxi the parking via Alpha, this frequency, have a good night.
So there we go. Okay.
Taxi to parking with via this frequency, 690 Bravo, thank you for your help.
Johnny Ground Skyhawk 53176, finish at the tower, run up request departure from Kilo if possible.
Skyhawk 176, runway 20 right at Kilo, taxi via Bravo, Kilo.
Alright, Bravo Kilo 20 right, 53176. Okay. Parking brake is off. Clear to the right. Up, that's not my look behind me view. And I think we need a little bit more daytime as well. So we're not going to be doing this in the evening. We're going to be doing it in the daytime. Alright, X-plane, let's go. Keep her straight. Okay. So let's brief this one more time. We're going to be a right heading 240 at or below 2,400 feet. Our departure frequency is 28.1. And we've got our beacon code in there. Let's get our frequencies ready to go. So 26.8. I would be using COM 2 in the real plane for ground clearance, ground, and everything. So I would already have the departure and the tower in COM 1 right now. So as soon as we're told to contact tower, which I usually will get contact tower as we're on Bravo. On the other side, on the left side, it seemed like it was a lot more of monitor
Approaching
tower.
runway 20 right.
But for some reason, I've had more contact towers on the taxiway, which you just let them know that you're on Bravo for Kilo. So we are now holding short, so we're going to go over to tower, and then I'm going to put 28.1 in the standby right there. And I'm going to actually do one more thing as well while we're on the ground. I'm going to look at my documents, and we're going to be on 10.8 is the Santa Monica VOR, and we're on the 132 radial. So let's go. I'll put that on the reciprocal, and 132 right about there. So that's going to be our inbound heading towards the Santa Monica VOR. Jawing Tower, good evening. Skyhawk 53176, holding short 20 right at Kilo.
Skyhawk 53176, Jawing Tower, runway 20 right at Kilo, clear for takeoff, wind 240 at 7.
All right, clear for takeoff, 20 right at Kilo 53176. Okay, so we got lights, we've got camera, and we got action mixture full. Do one little check here. Looks like we're clear on final. Clear down the runway. Let's do a soft field. Full back pressure. Slowly on the throttle. Let it lift up. Full throttle. There we go. Actually, no, I just realized that I don't have the second notch of flaps in. Put those down. I didn't really plan for that. Brad wants me to never do a standard takeoff with him anymore, so I kind of remembered that at the end there. They'll also on this side they'll usually approve you for an early turnout, and in Pilot Edge, you know, that's okay to do that without necessarily being that being approved. So there is our 240. It looks like actually we're a little bit off on our DG. Should have checked that in the run up. So we'll note that. There's 240.
Skyhawk 176, radar contact, local departure.
Alright, departure 53176. SoCal departure, good evening. Skyhawk 53176, 1000 restricted, 2400.
Skyhawk 53176, local departure, good evening, cancel altitude restriction.
Alright, canceling altitude restriction 53176. Okay, so we're now unrestricted, so we can keep going up to 4,500. And we'll wait for his call to set us free on our navigation. But basically taking us right towards Huntington Beach Pier, which is one of the reasons why they don't send you off on the 240 heading, because that's the all of the inbound traffic is coming from Huntington Beach Pier. So in real life, they'll send you on 220, which keeps you out of the way of the jet traffic by 10 degrees, and the incoming GA guys by
10.
But this is close enough. I mean, for what we're doing right now, this is fine. And this is the one thing that I've done more than the rest of the flight, doing the Mesa departure out of here. So it's Newport Beach off the left wing here. We got Balboa Island out there, Newport Harbor, Costa Mesa area is kind of over here. We got Laguna Beach down there, and then we're kind of flying towards Seal Beach, Long Beach area over there. So we'll be heading directly over Long Beach. cleaner tack chart going there. All right, so 4,500. That'll set us up for the special flight rules transition. Which is very nice. I prefer that over the mini route quite a bit. It's really, really easy. You're probably on the radio as much, but you're not switching frequencies. So you're making probably as many calls, but it's more of a CTAF type of radio communication. And if anyone is watching this after the fact on YouTube or the bot or something, I am saying good evening to them because it is the evening right now. I just have the sim set to the daylight, so it might seem kind of weird to be saying good evening when it's clearly
176, resume on navigation.
Clearly noon. All right, resuming now 53176. So he kept us pretty far out. That would not really be the case in real life. They usually let you cut you free pretty quickly, unless they have a specific reason or a traffic avoidance and they want to keep you on that heading for a little bit longer. But you're pretty much going to do that anyway. I'd probably round that out a little bit more, and instead of going straight to Huntington Beach Pier, cut the corner a little bit. Yeah, to Finbar, I should be saying good morning, right? Top of the morning to you. All right, we're almost at our final altitude. And let's round it off there. And then I'm going to go heading mode and altitude mode, and we're going to hold that. So in the simulator, and a lot of you guys that do fly, probably medium distance, like short even to medium distance flights in the sim will probably know that the trim in X-Plane is disastrous. It's so difficult to get a plane trimmed the way you want it to. And this, the Skyhawk only has the elevator trim, so you can't, even if you get it trimmed perfectly, you're still likely to have some, directional, whether it's like aileron or rudder trim issue, which can all be bound to something, but it's not part of the plane, so we don't have aileron trim in the plane, but the plane that I fly actually does have an autopilot, so I will use autopilot this during this flight for real. But right now, I probably wouldn't use autopilot in this case in real life because it's not necessary for this short of a trip. But in the simulator, it's much easier to just, as soon as you're in a cruise scenario, to just use autopilot. Real Cal, X-Plane. Oh, in X-Plane there is no such thing as perfect trim. Not even close, Cal. Is there? It's a pain in the butt, but at the same time, most planes, even if the plane itself doesn't have autopilot, you can at least engage autopilot, or they have like a hidden autopilot function, which is nice to have, so you don't have to rely on getting the plane trimmed out. The other part of that too is, let's say you're trying to maintain a heading and you've got, winds coming off the ocean at 210 or something, and you're trying to maintain this, what are we at, 270 heading. So you've got like this crosswind component, and, you might have it trimmed perfectly for elevation, or excuse me, for altitude, but you might have like a little pressure, on the yoke, or, I guess it would be, a little bit down pressure to kind of, keep the wings down into the wind a little bit. And when you've got a spring-loaded joystick, that becomes really difficult to do for an extended period of time in the simulator. So I don't do that. ArtSim, happy Friday. Okay, so as we're coming up to Long Beach here, I'll kind of walk you through the special flight rules transition. So the special flight rules transition is in the tax supplement, the terminal area chart supplement, and northbound, as you can see up here, is 4,500. Our VOR that we're going to use is the Santa Monica VOR, and that is 110.8. And then you can see here that we're going to be on the Santa Monica 132 radial only. Now that is the from radial that we're going to be flying towards. So we're actually going to be on the reciprocal of that, which we have tuned up here on our on our OBS here. So this is 132, and we've got the reciprocal there, so that will be on the 2 flag, which it is now. We just don't have. We're just not close to the radial yet. I think it actually is starting to come alive now. Yep, it's coming alive. Oh crap, I keep doing that. So it is coming alive now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fly this heading until that is straight up and down. Instead of making, going to direct where the transition actually starts, which is at the 405 Hawthorne freeway intersection. And you can see that on the TAC chart itself. But for right now, we're just going to follow this radial, this 132 outbound Santa Monica radial, and we're going to follow that 4,500. And we've got basically 4 call-out points that we're going to use to call out our traffic location. We've got Imperial Highway, we've got Manchester Boulevard, but we're also going to call it the LAX complex here. So we're going to say the north complex once we're over the north complex there. And then we're going to go Bologna Creek, and then Santa Monica VOR, and that's where the transition ends. So as soon as we finish with this transition, we're going to squawk VFR, and then we're going to get everything set up for our full stop taxi back into Van Nuys. And let's see, where are we at? Okay, so that VOR radial, we're coming into that nicely right now. While this is kind of doing its thing right now, and before I get too close to this transition, I'm going to get the ATIS dialed in for Van Nuys. And I would probably, in real life, get this thing, that is my nav, I would probably have this ready to go before I left John Wayne. So when I'm monkeying with the climb out and setting up for this transition, I'm not also getting my ATIS.
Arriving and departing runways 16 left, 16 right. Visual approaches in use. Read back all runway assignments and hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact. You have information, Romeo.
Okay, so we have Romeo. Let's just listen to the winds and stuff and check the altimeter.
ATIS information, Romeo. 0251 Zulu. Wind 240 at 4.
Okay.
Visibility 10. Sky condition, clear. Temperature 21. 2.9er. Altimeter 2988. Arriving and departing runways 16 left.
Okay, 2988. Okay.
Visual approaches in use. Read back all runway.
Skyhawk 176, contact local approach 134.9.
Actually, so okay, we'd like to cancel our flight following. We're going to be on the special flight rules transition northbound. Can we just get a LAX altimeter setting?
Skyhawk 176, Los Angeles, altimeter 2990, squawk VFR, change to advisory frequency approved.
Okay, thank you for the altimeter, squawking VFR and changing to advisory frequency 53176. Okay.
Number 4657.
I don't think Eugene has had too many people do this transition, so he usually leaves it really late and actually passes me off to the other frequency, which which basically when you're over Long Beach is when you're going to be let loose. So I'm just going to drop with him right now, and now that we have our heading there, I'm going to turn on to our radial here, and then you can see up here we have 128.55. So 128.55 is our CTAF frequency, so we're going to be on there, and then we squawk. Where does it show that? I forget. I think it's oh yeah. So beacon code is 1201, and that is again in the paragraph below the transition on the chart supplement. So right now we look like we're on a 31, heading there. 132 radial is the from radial that we're on, so that's lined up okay. And I think we need to probably go a tick over to the right there. We might be a little bit left of where we want to go exactly. Yeah, so you squawk 1201 and 2990 is our code right there. Okay, so we're on the transition. We're lined up and ready for the transition, but we're not on it yet. But what I would do in this case is, and there's going to be some traffic coming in and out of here, so we may, it might be pretty busy. I think the most planes I've had in one direction is 3 in real life, 3 or 4, something like that. And so you kind of want to just listen out for, is anybody else on this transition with you? So we're on 128.55, which is right here, 128.55, squawking 1201, and we will just announce something like this. Special Flight Rules transition, White Skyhawk 4500 northbound, Abeam Torrance. Special Flight Rules. And that's pretty much it. So unless we hear anybody else that we want to make our presence known, that's really all that I would say until we get to Imperial Highway. Really, you can also check in at where is the? Here we go, Hawthorne. You can see this Hawthorne 405 freeway. That's kind of the published beginning of the transition. So I will sometimes just use that because it's closer. Because once you say you're on Imperial Highway, you're like breathing down its neck. So, if anyone's joined ahead of you here, you kind of want to let them know that you're coming for them. But there's no there's no altitude, or not altitude. There's no mileage calls. It's strictly just ground referenced waypoints really that are on the TAC chart, because this is a TAC procedure. So you'll have those a little bit more clearly defined on the TAC chart than you would on a sectional. And obviously in the transition, it's spelled out here as well. So some more sightseeing. This is Palos Verdes out here. Here's Torrance, Zamperini Field. This is Redondo Beach out here. We're coming up on LAX right ahead of us there. Hey, what's up, Sean? Happy Friday. And then out here we have some scenery anomalies, which I need to get those fixed. This is Compton Airport right there. Wow, yeah, that western expansion thing is definitely added a bunch of buildings. Sean, thank you for the host. You're welcome. Senpai, happy Friday. I will try my best. And we're also going to be coming up on Hawthorne Airport, which should be right down there somewhere. Oh yeah, there it is. So there's Hawthorne. Super cool airport, home of SpaceX. So there's like a big rocket just chilling there. Special flight rules transition White Skyhawk 4500 northbound over the 405 and Hawthorne freeways. Special flight rules. Deluxe Raccoon is back. He is for sure. This is the Rep Pack 172. So it is the default model, but it has the Realism expansion pack added to it. So it's got some extra goodies, and this was also repainted to match the plane that I fly in real life. And Finbar in the chat is the one that painted this, and he did a phenomenal job. So, okay, looks good. Also gonna get Van Nuys Tower in here as well, and that is 19.3. So as soon as we're ready to go, we'll have them on the radio, and we're not going to be picking up flight following at the end of this. We're just going to go right to Van Nuys. So, no, it is not free. It is a payware. I think it's like $20, but totally worth it if you fly a 172 in real life. It is miles better than the default model for sure. Like not even close. Okay. Back to the documents. Special flight rules transition White Skyhawk 4500 northbound approaching Imperial Highway. Special flight rules. So there's Imperial Highway, and you could physically see Imperial Highway too. We're right over it. There's Imperial Highway right there. So we're over Imperial. This is the tunnel that goes under LAX. And now we're just approaching the North Complex. Now it's only $14. That is a steal. Special flight rules transition White Skyhawk 4500 northbound over the North Complex at LAX. Special flight rules. What happens if you crash in the game? It depends on what kind of modeling you have on, but it will either depict the crash best it can, or it will... LAX scenery looks a little bit weird. Okay, I'm going to stop looking at that because that was goofy. You have to buy a new plane. This one does remember. The rep pack will remember, so you will have to go back and click a few buttons to repair some stuff, but it discourages you to crash. Which you, of course, can. Okay, so our next call out is Bologna Creek, which you can see right down there. There's Bologna Creek. This is like the Venice, Santa Monica area. Special flight rules transition White Skyhawk approaching Bologna Creek 4500 northbound. Special flight rules. Okay. And then our next and final check-in point is the Santa Monica VOR, which happens to be Santa Monica Airport as well. Okay. And we're just approaching that, so now's a good time to make that call. And by the time we finish it, we should be on the other side of it, and we can make our last call. So. Special flight rules transition White Skyhawk 4500 northbound, just approaching Santa Monica VOR. This will be our last call departing to the north. Special flight rules. Alright, so we're good to go now. We have now completed everything that we needed to for that transition as it's published. So the next thing that we're going to do is squawk VFR. That did not work like I wanted it to. So 1, 2, 0, 0. So there is our squawk. So now we're VFR, and now we're going to switch over to Van Nuys Tower. Now we are just over Santa Monica, and we have about 12 miles to go before we're at the airport. But that's close enough because their airspace starts a little bit earlier than that. And it's a very busy airport, so we are going to let them know right away what we're doing. Van Nuys Tower, good evening. Skyhawk 53176, 4,500 over Santa Monica, with information Sierra inbound for a full stop taxi back for 16 right if able.
Skyhawk 53176, and I saw greening at the right, downwind, runway 16 right, report midfield.
Okay, we'll enter a right downwind for 16 right, reporting midfield 53176. Sweet. Okay, so we're going to maintain this heading right now because if you can see here, we're kind of on a trajectory right over the departure end of the runway, so they're going to turn people out earlier, but I don't want to start turning towards the runway until I'm further west of it.
I have Juliet at the GA ramp highway for testing.
So that's the business end of Van Nuys right there. Canada ATC, do you fly on any other platform than Pilot Edge? I will fly on, I've been on VATSIM a couple of times, but since I fly in this airspace in real life, I really have no need to venture anywhere else because Pilot Edge is so good and they mimic the real procedures so well. And since I'm using this as a supplement to training in the real plane, I haven't needed to go elsewhere really. Okay, so there is the autopilot disconnected, and we're pretty close here for entering that right downwind. So we'll just turn in here, and I'm going to actually to help us in the pattern. Let's bug this to 16, and that is our pattern, or our final heading. Our airport elevation is 800, and our pattern altitude is 1800. So 1800 is what we're looking for. A few miles from the runway. We want to enter at pattern altitude. So, my favorite sim is X-Plane. This is fantastic. It's definitely more suited for people that are into general aviation rather than the commercial stuff. So if you're, and not to say that it doesn't do the commercial stuff well also, but it's just a lot better than the other sims are at general aviation. So I gotta figure out what those little red things are and get those out of there. I have an idea of what they are, but that looks kind of funny. Hopefully that's not scattered along our routes tonight. But yeah, so the general aviation stuff is definitely better on X-Plane, and it seems like a lot of the industry is starting to support the community, the X-Plane, the general aviation X-Plane community a little bit more.
Los Angeles Bravo airspace, squawk VFR, contact Hoffman Tower 121.1.
So we're a little bit at an angle, so we're kind of going to take this at a slight angle of an entry. Yeah, X-Plane's not expensive at all. I mean, I got it on sale for like $40. Yeah, it's not bad at all, and in fact, it's one of the cheaper routes. There's some really good freeware airplanes and freeware sceneries on X-Plane.
Left downwind, runway 25, clear to land, 25, 1 extra golf.
Open scenery, X with option enabled to show missing objects as red. Yeah, there's something that's missing that I've gotten prompt for before ArcSim. I've been so anxious just to fly that I haven't really spent the time to get that little scenery bug tweaked. And I haven't flown up here either, so I didn't really realize that the red was going to be that noticeable and that prevalent. But It's not where my concerns lie, but I'll get it fixed for sure. Let's get our mixture in here. So let's do a little door to floor check. So we got mags, master, lights. Trim looks okay. Mixture's full in. Fuel cutoff is in. Both.
At Tango for takeoff, wind 230 at 12.
Yeah, it does go on sale, but it's worth the $60.
At Tango.
Okay, we're not quite midfield, but that's pretty close. We're just above pattern altitude right now. Van Nuys Tower, Skyhawk 53176, midfield, right downwind, 16 right.
Skyhawk 53176, Van Nuys Tower, runway 16 right. Clear to land, wind 240 at 4.
Alright, clear to land, 16 right, and we'll be full stop taxi back on this, departing to the northwest, 176.
Roger.
Oh yeah, it looks like a fence or something. Like that, like that object, that red object is a fence or something. Definitely Van Nuys has got it. Okay, so there's the numbers. We've got a displace threshold here, so we can let it come down. Keep trimming. I'm gonna get the second notch in here and slow it down. Keep it a little bit tighter here.
Skyhawk 04 Hotel, ready contact, squawk altitude.
It's looking good, Kenny. I like it, man.
Oh yes, so squawk altitude.
Whoa. Okay. Looks good. Well, that is very nice of your dad to buy you a sim, dude. That's awesome.
John Wayne clearance, Cherokee A157.
Okay, so overshot that a little bit.
Piper Warrior 2 at East Ramp with information Tango BFR to Chino at 3,500.
Man, that fence is a little rough looking, isn't it?
Cherokee 8157 Charlie, John Current, on departure, turn right heading 330, maintain VFR at below 2000.
Ended up a little bit high too.
Departure frequency 128.1, squawk 7443.
We will get it down
Heading
easily.
330, VFR at or below 2400, departure frequency 128.1. Squawk 7443, Cherokee 57.
Get over on the.
Is that correct? Linear 1 X taxi to parking via Sierra.
Oh, wrong rudder.
Good day.
Sierra, this frequency, have a good day, 1 X-ray go.
That was a mess.
Cessna 04 Hotel, contact local departure.
Oh, this airport is a mess. Ooh. Let's get out of here.
Palm Springs clearance, TBM 915.
I gotta get that fixed. This is brutal. Where'd my Van Nuys go?
Skyhawk 600 for
Oh my
Hotel,
God.
local departure, resume on navigation, cancel altitude restriction.
Where are we? Are we at hotel? Did I let it
Skyhawk
frickin...
176, runway 16 right, taxi via Alpha Charlie, this frequency.
Okay, Alpha Charlie staying with you, 53176.
TBM 1915 Tango Bravo, Palm Springs.
So yeah, that was a mess. That's okay.
Cathedral 1 departure.
Part of what is important to me when using the simulator to practice for a real-world flight is to not really worry about the flying part of it because it's so different. So that landing was like a total mess. I had the wrong rudder in. That was just a bad landing. But what it did was it gave me that that repetition of the radio calls, what I'm going to see, how I'm going to enter, what it kind of looks like from the air, and then, you know, like the taxi procedure. So if I'm going to be off at hotel, I am definitely not going to let it float that long. I'll hopefully be off at Gulf at the latest. But, you know, either way, I'm gonna pull off. They're gonna tell me to taxi back to 16 right, assuming I get 16 right via Alpha, and you know and hopefully there won't be like weird red fences everywhere. The scenery is just a mess. I thought for sure that this was not going to be ruined, but thought wrong. And my rudders are
John
wrong.
Wayne, ground, Cherokee A157 Charlie.
Deluxe Raccoon. If you want to, you can scroll down.
Runway.
You may do that,
Cherokee
but
157 Charlie, German Tower.
yeah, there's nothing that you can do in the chat.
Taxi via Alpha Kilo.
But thank you very much. Thank you for watching. So, Ominous Luck, that's a great question. I am using ForeFlight. So ForeFlight is the program that I use in the plane. This is on an iPad. So I've got my iPad right here, and you're seeing what is on my iPad.
Approaching
right
runway 16 right.
Some of it's being chroma keyed out, but this is what you're seeing here. So if I move this around, you know, it's mirrored on the screen there. So this would just be mounted on the yoke. And did it go away? Where'd it go? No, it's right here. Yeah, this would be mounted on the yoke, and I'd be using it in the real plane. So let's get the hell out of this crappy Van Nuys scenery. Yeah, any iOS device, yeah, but only iOS, unfortunately. Van Nuys Tower, Skyhawk 53176, holding short, 16 right at Charlie.
Skyhawk 53176, runway 16 right, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, 16 right, 53176. Okay, we're clear on the right there. Let's get our lights, camera, and action. We're still VFR, which is what I want. And on the taxi back to the runway in real life, I'll probably talk with, you know, whoever I'm on with, whether it's tower or ground, if I can get a you know, at least a frequency. Like, hey, can I get a departure frequency? If not a departure frequency and a code, because this part, you know, it's not hard. I let that go too long. You know, it's not hard to pick up flight following in the air, but you know, if I can pick it up, you know, from the airport on the ground, it's really good. Do you know any cheap yokes and throttles? Well, I would use the Thrustmaster HOTUS X. That's the best bet. Ominous Luck, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome aboard officially. All right, so let's turn out over our flattened, ugly Van Nuys. Very disappointing scenery. Thank you. Yeah, the graphics, except for Van Nuys. Wait till you get to our next airport. It looks phenomenal. It looks so good. But yeah, I've got the ortho sceneries and a couple other little plugins that add houses and a bunch of crap. And there's our lovely red fences again. You know, cars driving along. It looks pretty nice. And over densely populated areas, it actually doesn't look as good as it does with, over some mountains, which we're about to see. So we're gonna go on SoCal approach. So 134.2. So we'll go 134.2. Get that dialed up. Okay, and we're going to be climbing to 4,500. So let's pick up flight following from the air. How far are we off of Van Nuys? About...
Way 20 right.
We gotta wait. We have to wait. We gotta wait 5 miles. So once we get out of Van Nuys, then we can switch. That's right. I almost forgot
Takeoff
that.
runway 20 right.
I need money for a new gaming PC, but I'm not a streamer, so I can't do it. Quasar, how's it going? Happy Friday. Yeah, that looks pretty nice right there. Okay, we are almost out of Van Nuys. So that, again, that's another important thing to know too, is that hey, I can't change frequencies until, you know, I get closer to the mountains. You know, just an example. Obviously, you know, you're looking at the chart and determining that, but you know, you've got to also have some visual cues to help with that as well. Yeah, we are getting really close to getting a comma in that follow number, Quasar. That's freaking crazy, man. SoCal approach, good evening, Skyhawk 53176, 3,700 climbing 4,500. We like flight following to San Luis Obispo, please.
Skyhawk 53176, SoCal approach, good evening, squawk 1575.
Okay, 1575, 53176, 53176.
Skyhawk 576, better contact 6 miles west of Van Nuys, altimeter 2988.
Alright, 2988, 176. Okay, so I'm just going a little bit. Alright. So there was some clunkiness to that, if you guys were really paying attention to the numbers, but overall, okay, not so bad. Yeah, this climb out is brought to you, unbeknownst to him, by Steve01 Canevo, who urges you to.
If you guys do like these videos, be sure to smash that thumbs up button. Also subscribe to the channel.
Thank you very much, Steve-O. I appreciate it, taking time off from flying out of Opelika to promote the stream. Okay, so let's get on our heading here. So let's go heading and altitude. Did I get that right? Oh yeah, it's just trim. Okay. All right. We're all settled here.
Bank angle, bank angle, bank angle.
Oh jeez. Jeez, Kim. Thank you so much, Kim, for the 5
Bank
gifted
angle,
subs.
bank angle.
Deluxe Raccoon, welcome. Evie A, 17, welcome. Freight Dog, what's happening, Freight Dog? Nightmare Frame, welcome to the crew. And Rainbow
Bank
Dave,
angle, bank angle.
welcome
bank
everybody.
angle.
Enjoy the exclamation points below. And Kim, thank you. Thank you very much, Kim.
Bank angle, bank angle, bank angle.
Pilot Peanut Butter, happy Friday, hello. Pilot Peanut Butter, I am happy that you are here.
Bank angle, bank angle, bank angle.
Okay, we'll be looking 176. You said he was eastbound?
Northeastbound at 11 o'clock and 2 miles.
Oh, he's close. Okay, still looking 176.
No traffic, 2 o'clock, 2 miles southbound. Altitude indicates 3,900.
Okay, negative contact, looking for that one as well, 176. Oh, we have him in sight, 176, the 2 o'clock traffic.
Roger, thanks.
I don't know where this guy went, though. But yeah, we got this guy right here. So he is in sight. going to go right underneath us. So that's okay. Alright, so let's get flight plan up here. And we are now on our way to Gaviota, which is...
Ground. Good evening, Skyhawk 503, Alpha Mike. Transient ramp, VFR departure and flight following. Destination Mojave, Mike, Hotel Victor, altitude 7,000.
So there's Gaviota.
We have whiskey.
And let's get, oops. We're going to need to go here, and we're going to activate that leg there. And then we're going to go to K.
134.2 on the frequency, one to squawk 1310.
S B P. There we go. Okay. That is our route. And that looks nice there. And with the ability of GPS and modern navigation, I can go GPS, and then I can also go nav, and it's going to follow that line all the way there. I can't ever land the 172.
Frequency change.
In
departure on
Pilot Peanut Butter, in real life or in the sim?
Cherokee 57 Cherokee.
Cherokee 57 Cherokee, reception point of clock 7443.
Squawk 7443, Cherokee 57 Cherokee.
In the sim, okay. The rep pack one or the standard 172? So if you're always bouncing the 172 in the sim, you're probably going too fast, maybe? I don't know, I wouldn't be able to diagnose that. Yeah, so the standard one, I mean, the standard one's going to be a little bit different than the rep pack one. And I haven't flown the standard one in a while, so I couldn't tell you without seeing it or have any idea what's going on. Okay. So now this is going to be a very interesting part of this flight tomorrow. I'm going to have I'm going to keep this thing pegged, by the way. So I wouldn't fly like this in real life because we're redlined. So I'm just going to keep this thing as fast as I can get it, just so this doesn't take forever. How much fuel did you take off with? Chad, that is a great question. About 3/4 of a tank. So we used a quarter, we've got a half left. We're a little bit leaned out, but not by too much. Our fuel flow is still super high. Again, I'm not going for economy. Yeah, we're at 12 gallons per hour. So I'd be 4 gallons per hour better in the real plane, but in the interest of time, I'm not going to have like a real IRL performance, cruise performance. I am not streaming tomorrow. Yeah, rental power for sure. Not planning on streaming tomorrow, but I am going to fly tomorrow. Brad and I are going to go out dual tomorrow, probably for a little bit shorter of a flight, and then he's going to sign me off for the for this flight. And then, depending on whether I'll either do it on Sunday or Monday. We can actually probably check the weather too.
Wind 2107.
Sunday's crap.
176, contact point, move approach 124.7.
All right, 134.7 176. Point Magoo approach. Good evening. Skyhawk 53176, 4,500. So now that I think about it, I'll probably I'll probably have the GPS programmed all the way to San Luis Obispo before I leave John Wayne. That way, everything's input, and it's only, I mean, it's really easy. It's KVNY, GVO, KSBP. That's it. Those are, I mean, it's straight shots except for the Van Nuys thing, which I'll be on that radio and strictly looking out the window for that. But those are the only real fixes that I'm going to need to get there. Now, if we wanted to go to Gaviota, where is the frequency for that? 13.8. So let's go 13.8. There's Gaviota, and probably not going to pick it up all the way out here. No. But we do know that we're on a. Well, we can find out exactly what we're. So we're on a 271 heading. So we can put that on 271 and see if that will match up. Once it does kick online. So there's 27 and a bit. All right, Raccoon, have a good one, man. Thanks for hanging out tonight. Okay, we're not a beam Camarillo yet, but Camarillo is out there. Whoa. He's out somewhere out here. Where'd you go? There it is. There's Camarillo. Okay, so there's Camarillo, and then right on the other side of this ridge is Santa Paula. And we're going to cross right over Santa Paula. Let's check these little peaks here. Okay, that's good. 590 and so. Okay. So I mean, it looks like these are a lot higher than they actually are, but we're okay all the way down. Until we get to Santa Barbara. We should be okay. We're going to have to go off of GPS because we're going to get pretty close to pretty tall mountain. But we'll just keep it here for right now and see how that goes. We might have to add Santa Barbara to our GPS fix. So, but we'll see how that goes once we get closer. That's why we're doing this. Let's see, and it's about a 2-minute flight from Slow to L52. Yeah. Ceremonial Melon, what is happening? Happy Friday. Rob, how's it going? Happy Friday to you as well. Okay. Am I pushing it enough? I don't think I'm pushing this thing enough. Only 111 over the ground. Let's keep going. Yes, I have been flying real world much, and the flight that I'm doing right now is practicing for my long solo cross country. This is the route here. So we've already done the John Wayne to Van Nuys stretch over the or through the special flight rules transition over LAX, and now we're on our way from Van Nuys to San Luis Obispo. So on our way up to Slow, and I am wringing the neck of this little Rep Pack 172. Now we're doing 118 over the ground, so it's kind of dragging ass a little bit, but that's okay. We're sucking gas right now, which isn't great, but yeah. But how have you been, Rod? How's everything going in your neck of the woods? Got a new toy, huh? What toy would that be? Is that too big? That might be too big. Yeah, I mean, saying that it's worse is probably an unfair way to put it, but yeah, X-Plane 11 is definitely more advanced. FSX is 15 years old now, so the flight modeling, the textures on X-Plane are definitely superior. Yeah, absolutely. Post a link. That little weather change. GoPro cam. Can't wait, Rod. What is it gonna be? Oh, dude, that is awesome. Little Super Cub. Oh man, I love that. I love it. Do you have any shot of the panel? Dude, that thing is so cool. Oh my god, that's awesome. Yeah, that is really cool. 63 horse. Oh, okay, just a J3, not a Super. Okay. Friggin' gorgeous, dude. Yeah, it's probably got three. It's got an airspeed indicator and miles per hour, volt, and like amp meter, and what else? Altimeter. That's probably it. And maybe a tack, right? I guess. That's so funny, dude. That's awesome. That is super cool. Congrats, man. Well done. So it's a long weekend coming up. Does anybody else, besides Rod in his gorgeous J3 Cub, is anyone else planning on flying this weekend? Anybody? At least, Rod, I hope you're going to fly it this weekend. Weather permitting. All right, dude. There you go, Kim. Yeah, I'm a little nervous about the weather permitting part as well. Let's see what the 48-hour, right? 48-hour outlook. Forecast ceiling, 48 hours. I guess it really is 36 hours. Yeah. not super. 72. Fly on Monday. Monday's a little bit better. At least so far. Definitely Symphony. Oh yeah, that's sweet, Rod. Okay, so we got you got RPM, right? RPM, airspeed, magnetic compass, altimeter, and then what is that? Volts? Oil pressure? Oil temp and pressure? Is that, Ken, is that an Italian design panel? That's so sick, Rod. Oh my god. Dude, Rod, you've flown it, right? I mean, I'm assuming you've flown it already. Oh yeah, that's awesome, dude. Yeah, that wood prop looks friggin' sweet. Oh, that's gotta be fun. That has got to be an absolute blast. I'm gonna get visibility on right now. Let's see what we're looking at. Okay, so it drops down to 6 up here, and then San Luis Obispo is, yeah, that's all fine. Everyone's good. Just a little hazy for some reason. Eugene, where you at on that call, man? That guy is real close. let's ask him. Pomegu approach, do you have any targets showing at our 2 o'clock, 53176? Just see who's there. That guy got really close. Don't forget the gas gauge out the front of the window. Oh, the cork, the floating cork. No electric system too. That's cool. That is really cool, man. What a blast! That's a friggin' gorgeous plane. Point Magoo, approach 53176. $34.7, right? All traffic in the area advised. Like, what was going down here? One, 2, 5, 4.
So 503 Alpha Mike, Joshua approach, Palmdale altimeter 29901.
29901.
Cloud 285. Turn left heading 280, descend to maintain 5,000.
Something was up there.
26 left.
280 down to 5,000. Visual 26 left. Something 65.
Santa Barbara approach, Skyhawk 53176, 4,500. Look at Gaviota, we're dead on Gaviota.
48427 Lumber Ground, runway 27, Fox City and Charlie.
I'm gonna stay away from those mountains. Get sucked into them.
53176. Santa Barbara approach. Nice to have you back. Santa Barbara altimeter 29er 89er.
All right, 29er, 89er. Yeah, that was weird. We were on with Point Magoo, and then it just dropped out.
7176, that's interesting. If that ever happens, go back to the previous frequency that you had operating comms on. If there's no luck with that, guard frequency is an active frequency here, so you can go to 121.5 and just do a radio check. And if ATC can hear you on any frequency, we'll be able to hear you and respond. At least get you directed to a different frequency that'll be work for you, or at least confirm if it's a true radio failure.
Okay, roger that. Yeah, I think it just, for some reason, the line of sight just got screwed up or something. But yeah, I kept trying the frequency, and it was not working.
Roger. Yeah, just in the future, if that happens again, go to 121.1 and call guard. Change my frequency 120.55, 2055.
Okay, 2055 53176.
Vegas approach Southwest 285 and still stuck.
3921 Juliet.
All right, so that all that makes sense.
Number 4427. So once you're holding short your assigned runway, you can contact the tower. Any airports railroad that have earlier closing, here on Pilot Edge, all towers close at the same time. So whatever our coverage hours are going to be the same for all towers.
Hey, Fatal. Santa Barbara approach, Skyhawk 53176, 4500. Okay, so I gotta be. We're gonna have to be direct Santa Barbara, I think, because that's just too close to those mountains. I don't like that. So, even though the wind is coming off of the shore here, so there's not going to be any like real nasty stuff coming off these mountains coming at us. But there's no reason to hug that any closer than we have to. So
48427 Lumber Tower, runway 27,
we'll just
clear for takeoff.
keep going in this direction and get the
3104 Lima, contact circle approach 128.1.
20.6.
128.1 for 3104.
There's Southwest 285, do you have field of sight?
Affirmative, field of sight, Southwest 285.
Yeah, so
Southwest 285, clear
the
with approach runway 26,
like
contact
losing
Los Angeles Tower,
radios
109.9er.
is definitely one thing. Like her suggestion to go to guard was really a great suggestion. I just know that the radios are still working because it's a simulator. So that frequency, that last frequency that I was on, just died for some reason. And I don't know if it was a line of sight thing. We may have just been so far from the station and in mountains that it just like completely was dropped out. But that's something where a real world controller, if there is a spot like that where they're going to lose radar contact or lose radio, you know, they'll pass you off, but that's probably pretty unlikely.
Southwest 285, runway 26 left, clear to land, and report midfield left downwind.
This is a pretty good sized flight. My God. I need the time though. Gotta knock it out.
Air 427 radar contact SoCal departure.
No, not at all. It's just funny where like it feels like it's been forever. And we're not even to Santa Barbara.
And departure number 42427, or sorry, 48427 with you at approaching 2000 our 310 course.
Well, and
48427, so departure. The heading on departure was 310, so you should have been just a slight right turn.
you know, I've never, this is, you know, I've never flown, I've never been this far. You could be going to Long Beach and it's like, why is this taking so long? Well, you're right, Brett. I mean, that, like, you know, getting the need for speed thing, you know,
So left turn 310.
I don't know. I mean, I haven't done it yet. I haven't, I've never done this before, so I might love it. I might be like, yeah, Brett is totally right. I need to go a lot faster. But I just love being up in the air so much that I think once I'm in the plane doing it, like, you know, if I'm going up to San Luis Obispo, like on an actual flight, you know, with Julia or with Brad, like if Brad and I are going up to San Luis Obispo to get waffles, you know, this summer or something, you know, is it going to be something where, like, I want to get there as quickly as I can? Or is it like, hey, we're going to be cruising up the coast, like, we're not in a rush. So, I mean, I'm just sitting here,
We're trying to get our heading,
in the office hanging out, so it's not as exciting of an environment. Okay, this Santa Barbara scenery looks pretty good.
Southwest 2885, thank you, runway 26 left, clear to land.
Yeah, that looks really nice.
Alright, and 44, we
You'll love it right
back to our 31.
427, thank you. Maintain appropriate speed for altitude.
When I fly to SoCal, it takes 5 hours. Yeah, and then that Cub, that's like coming from Bakersfield, right? 5 hours to get to LA from Bakersfield. I want to make sure that she, was she calling me? Santa Barbara approach 53176.
53176, Santa Barbara approach, go ahead.
I just was checking in 4,500. Wanted to make sure we had radar contact.
53176, affirmative. What's your destination?
We're going up to San Luis Obispo at 4,500, 176.
Roger.
The Cub would take 20 hours. I'm talking about the SR-22. The tailed one.
So 3 Alpha Migrator services are terminated, score speed fire and frequency change approved.
Man, look at that. That is gorgeous looking. Holy
November
crap.
427 leaving Bravo airspace. Maintain
Holy crap, look at
appropriate
that.
for altitudes and resume on navigation.
Wow. A backcountry twin? Yikes. So this narrows down quite a bit up here.
304 Lima, what was your approach request?
That's pretty interesting. I think a PC-24 yeah, technically backcountry twin, I guess.
Correct, 3104 Lima, depart Dana, heading 31.
Okay, so Gaviota is about 2,000 feet, looks like. So that's plenty.
Otherwise, expect visual approach runway 24.
Depart Dana at 310 heading and 4,000, and we'll pick the visual approach runway 24.
210. Nobody needs that. Want though? Yep.
5 Tango Bravo. Disregard.
There's the instant,
Air 3 Alpha Mike, Mojave Tower.
the instant VOR swing. We don't want.
Runway 30, report 3 miles out. Just be advised, Mojave does not have a live ATIS, so AWOS is all that's available at that airport, or I think it's AWOS. So just check in with the weather since there is no ATIS code.
Pull up. Pull up.
Aviator Starling, welcome aboard. Happy Friday. Why 4,500 instead of 6,500 or 8,500? So that actually is a good question, Brad. And when we were planning on it, when I was going through the planning, I actually had planned for 6,500, and I was like looking over it a bunch, and just trying to decide what altitude to go with, and I was trying to think of, I was trying to have you in my head on that altitude choice. So this special use airspace right here is between 3,000 and 6,000. So my initial thought is plan for 6,500 in case this is NOTAMed hot, and then you don't have to change plans. 4,500 is, plenty of space if this is cold, for the terrain and everything. It keeps you above the Santa Barbara airspace and everything, and it's fine. But I was going back and forth
Number 1 Juliet
with that.
Charlie, runway 20 right, taxi at Alpha Lima, hold short runway 20 left at Lima.
I can't remember what the gray one is. It's like an alert area, right? Do I have that right? Like a high speed alert or something? Special military activity. Yeah, because it's like not, it's not like selectable like the restricted areas are. Good guess though. I know that it's different from the restricted airspaces. Like high speed corridor or something like that.
For 3 Alpha Mike, runway 30, clear to land, wind 28012.
Okay, so it's a trick question. That's an advisory chart and marker. It's not actually special use airspace. That particular routing is used for UAVs out of Edwards Air Force area when they're running to the coast. Okay. It's a trick question. It's an advisory chart. Okay.
Number 1 Juliet Charlie.
So we can glide to the coast from here. So we have tons of space, but I mean every bit of altitude we can get will help us out. Let's see. Here broken. All right, so that's saying clouds broken at 1200 over there. So we're probably going to get a weather tweak out here, which will continue on as if it is nice out in this area because Santa Maria is clear and north of that is clear. So how about performance planning? Yeah, so the performance, it'll depend on what the winds aloft are doing at those altitudes. So if we look at the winds, I'll go this way. So winds aloft, we've got 7 knots at 015 at 6,000, and then 2 knots at 3,000. So we reduce our headwind by being a little bit lower. You know, we have 2,000 feet less of climb out that we need for 4,500. And you know what? Now that, see, I am learning Brad. So when Brad asks why 4,500 instead of 6,500 or 8,500, the answer might be 4,500. That might be the better altitude. But if I don't have a reason why I'm at 4,500, then it's probably a bad reason. So yeah, I originally had calculated for 6,500 feet for, you know, staying even more out of the way of airspace. You know, if there are favorable winds, if these, you know, charted advisory chart markings are hot, I don't have to update anything. Having, you know, calculating everything at 6,500 foot climb out, assuming that the winds aren't like drastically different, you know, aren't drastically more favorable, you know, it'll help out with more conservative fuel planning. Brad definitely knows this stuff, yeah. So those were all kind of things that I was thinking about when planning the altitude, and that one little spot that we have that we just went over, like basically right at Gaviota, right where the VOR is, you know, we still have 2,500 feet of space between us and the terrain. So that seemed like plenty to me. Running the numbers right now. It was like 30 gallons. For the whole thing, right? I seriously can't imagine doing better at 4,500 feet than 6,500 feet with these distances.
First 3 Alpha line taxi to parking at Alpha. Charlie, if you need it, remain this frequency. Have a great rest of your night.
No, it's like half a gallon or something stupid, like a gallon and a half.
Sir 5 Tango Bravo contact.
30. Yeah, I got 31.8.
45. Have a great night.
It's not separated out.
Sky 04 Lima.
Yeah, it doesn't do much.
Bolton Airport, about your 1 o'clock, 8.5 miles, report in sight.
4,500 is the most efficient time fuel-wise. 6,500 is 5 minutes. Is plus 5 minutes on the same gas. 8,500 is plus 13 minutes and plus 1 gallon. Okay. Brad, is that a calculation that a different level of ForeFlight does? Or did you just go through and like note down each one?
SoCal departure, number 1 Juliet Charlie, 5,000.
We're under 21 Juliet Charlie, Downway, correction, SoCal departure, radar contact. The approach request.
I'd like to request the ILS 20 right.
Number 1 Juliet Charlie, turn left heading 005. Dry left, runway 20 right approach.
005, we'll expect the ILS 20 right approach.
Go to edit route, click on an altitude.
04 Lima, as you roll out, Bolton Airport will be about your 10 to maybe your 9 o'clock and 6.5 miles.
Oh, okay.
2104 Lima has there, what do you have?
04 Lima, clear visual approach.
Yeah, I was doing it like on the actual nav log, but okay, yeah, that's way easier. Yeah, so you got 2 knot headwind.
Sky 176 Santa Maria, altimeter 29er96.
Alright, 29er96, 53176, thanks. Okay, well, that's cool. Yeah, so there's the time, so you got +1 on the time. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I've obviously seen this before, but I didn't really even think to use that as, you know, like an altitude selection. That's nice. 9 to 1, a few more miles, more options. Absolutely. Yep. Yep. Something else to think about at 65 or 8500 is you can do Van Nuys. Aviator Starling, thank you very much, man. Thanks for hanging out. I mean, I like to think that the content is as good as the people that are involved, like all you guys in the chat. So I appreciate that. Cuts off distance almost the same time in fuel burn. So what would the benefit be? Oh, the San Marcos. Okay, San Marcos.
Sky 3104 Lima, Fulton Tower, wind 2905.
So what would be the benefit of cutting off the distance without time or fuel burn change? Because I mean, 6,500 sounds great to me. Yeah, that gets you 2,500 feet above the San Marcos VOR. Higher equals more gooder. Yeah, no, I like that a lot. I do like that a lot. More gooder.
Altimeter 299er6. Arriving and departing runway 29er. Visual approaches in use. Read back all runway assignments and hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact. You have information Lima.
Shoot, and I just missed who that was. Restart the flight, good lord. Who just followed? I apologize for this. Mopar God 86. Thank you very much for following.
Altimeter 299er6. Arriving and departing runway 29er. Visual approaches in use. Read back all runway assignments and hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact. You have information Lima. San Luis County Regional Airport. 8 information Lima. 0356 Zulu. Wind 290 at 7. Visibility
Straight down the
10. 7,500 scattered. Temperature 13. Dew point 11. Altimeter 299er6.
Okay.
Arriving and departing runway.
So yeah, 7,500 foot ceiling here. So in this case, you know, 4,500 feet makes the most sense for the current weather and cloud cover currently, which is, you know, obviously that decision is largely made up for you in that case. When cloud layer is a factor, but we got. But yeah, San Marcos will be good. So I think we can plan on that. And we've got all the time in the world to climb up to it, so it's it's not that's definitely not a consideration. All right, there is Santa Maria. That's a big old complex. Yeah? Not good ones? It's a long ass runway.
1 Juliet Charlie, descend maintain 4,000.
Descend maintain 4,000, 1 Juliet Charlie.
Does it involve redheads?
304 Lima taxi departure V Bravo. Have a great rest of your night.
Oh yeah, okay.
So 1 Juliet Charlie, we're just speak to 190.
190, 1 Juliet Charlie.
Is there any government facilities nearby that would be the origin of your very long flights?
So 1 Juliet Charlie, turn left heading 220 General
Roger that.
Localizer.
Left 220, turn localizer, 1 Juliet Charlie.
Or is it? I don't know. Alright, so our next two stops have the world's best taxi situations. Like, it's friggin' hilarious how easy these taxis are.
Descend maintain 3,000, 1 Juliet Charlie.
Okay, iPad or no iPad? I feel like I leave it up there a lot and no one says anything, but I just want to make sure that, I mean, there's not much to look at over here, but if you wanted to. At least for final, once I'm like ready for final, I'll get rid of it.
Cleared islands, runway 20 right approach.
Clear 20 right approach, 1 Juliet Charlie.
Looking good, we're looking good. Everything is great. Fuel is looking like we have been running at redline this whole time. Freaking cool, man. Really cool. There are the dunes. Okay, so we got 212 foot field elevation. Pattern altitude is 1212. Hopefully we can get a straight in. That would be kind of cool. Be nice and convenient.
Charlie, contact runway tower 126.8.
Runway tower 126.8 on Juliet Charlie.
Now, is there any fun that we can
United
hope?
1 Juliet Charlie, down main tower, wind 2104, runway 20 right, clear to land.
29 doesn't have an ILS? Wow. Whatever. Go back to GPS. Pull that out. Go here. Approach. All right, it's gonna be right in this little dip right here, maybe even a little bit more over here. Okay, we got the nice little curve there. This is about where Oceano is, right at the north side of those dunes. There's our little red friends again. There's Oceano, sweet, and then there is San Luis Obispo right there. I think that's the airport. It's kind of hard to tell with the scenery like that, but it's somewhere over there. We'll confirm once we get closer. Alright, until we're told otherwise, let's just kind of plan on the straight in. So we'll make a little turn to the right here to kind of intercept that earlier. Man, that looks awesome. Alright, yeah, so Sunday looks like crap. Monday looks okay. Yeah, it kind of looks like it's up the coast. No precipitation then. Sunday actually, well, no, Sunday is like gonna rain in the morning, but like really early and then kind of trail off. So maybe later on Sunday, but definitely not in the morning.
Juliet Charlie, taxi to parking via Alpha, right your trace to the ramp. Have a great day. Number 42, St. John Wayne Airport, off between your 10 to 11 o'clock, 5 on 40.
There we go.
Skyhawk 53176, San Luis Airport, slightly left your 12 o'clock, 9 miles, report in sight.
Alright, we've got the airport inside, 53176.
Skyhawk 176, thank you. Radar services are terminated. Squawk 3 for contact San Luis Tower 124.0.
Okay, Squawk and VFR contacting the tower 53176. Thanks.
Number 427, John Wayne Airport, slightly left here, 12 o'clock and 6.5 miles, report inside.
St. Louis Tower, good evening, Skyhawk 53176, descending through 4,400 with Lima, full stop. Missed the stall horn.
53176, St. Louis Tower, make straight in runway 29er, clear to land, wind 2907.
Alright, we'll be straight in, clear to land 29 53176. Pretty deep for that, but that's fine with that. Okay, so let's go. We got lights. Got both in. We'll leave that mixture out for a little bit until we descend through. Let's go. We got lights are all on. Master's mags are on. Good. Float. Yeah, pull back, pull the power. Ceremonial Melon, I don't know if anybody misses that stall horn except for you, man. That's awesome. You missed the stall horn too? And it's in the sim as well, Brad. Yeah.
Bank angle, bank angle, bank angle.
Kim, thank you for gifting Ceremonial Melon a sub. The Stallhorn Brothers. That's awesome. Thank you, Kim. Oh, you know what, Brad? This kind of reminds me, when we were flying back from doing the orbits over the house, you were going to talk about straight-in procedures. I'll remind you tomorrow, even if we just talk about it and don't actually get a chance to demo it, but that'd be a good thing to go over, I feel like. Good use for my whiteboard. Yeah. It's been sitting on my chair for 4 months now. Break out the whiteboard. Alright. And resist the urge to put the nose down to lose altitude. Okay, so we got a golf course there to the left. We got a bunch of fields over here to the right. That all looks lovely. We've got nice airport dead ahead. Possibly Chinese. Happy Friday. I know happy is a relative term. How did the flat tire incident go? Were you able to get that sorted? Who is this? Paid 400 for it. Ugh. Dude, what is it doing? You can always go around. Am I high? Yeah, I'm really high. St. Louis Tower, Skyhawk 53176. We're going around.
Here, 53176, roger. Enter left, close traffic, report midfield, runway 29er.
Okay, left close traffic, report midfield for 29er 53176. Boom, boom, boom. Find out what altitude you're at and then how far out you have to be to maintain whatever descent rate is appropriate. Where did that behind the yoke camera viewpoint go? Behind the yoke viewpoint. Hi, St. Louis Tower, Skyhawk 53176, midfield, left downwind 29.
Skyhawk 176, runway 29er, cliff the option.
Alright, cliff the option will be full stop on this 53176. Okay, speed checks out so we can get the first notch of flaps in there. Ortho really isn't the highest res ever.
A good pilot is always learning.
Mr. Max, happy Friday. I am so glad I was able to catch you and Ty landing that thing at John Wayne. That was super cool, man.
500.
Perfect timing. Yeah, that was seriously epic. Yeah. Jeez, I can't get this plane in the sim to descend. But we'll get it down. There's your stall horn. Great landing. I don't know about that. It was an adventure.
Go somewhere else.
Go somewhere else. We're off at Foxtrot. St. Louis Tower, Skyhawk 53176, clear of 29 at Foxtrot, and we're parking straight ahead at the restaurant.
176, taxi to parking via Alpha. Have a great night.
Have a great night. We're going to be departing here in a minute, but we're just going to be mocking a full stop here. She doesn't care. I mean, it's definitely like ham-fisted on the controls, but that aileron for centerline, rudder for your nose pointed the other way. It did it. It just didn't do it smoothly. Not a single F was given. Not even a slight one. Okay. So wherever the parking is, there's no real like markings over here, so okay. Let's go all that off there. Avionics off. Mixture out. There. Okay. Put the like inside of the wing. Put the chocks down. Fricking wrong button. Okay, that's what I wanted. Okay, so chocks, chain it. Walk over to the restaurant. There's probably a gate right here. Go to the bathroom. Get a snack. All right. Good, good. Bathroom. Snack taken care of, or lunch or whatever, and we're back in the plane. Okay, so Oceano has an AWOS, so we'll check that. And it's the weather won't be too dissimilar from San Luis Obispo, but there are some mountains surrounding this place, so it's going to be a little bit different than the coast is, especially wind-wise, probably. So they are going to be a little bit different. But let's find out, shall we? Okay, let's get the beacon on. Real life park at ACI, it's free and you'll have better access to the plane if need be. Oh, really? ACI jet. Okay, cool. Alright, so don't park right in front of the restaurant. Park over by ACI. Right there. Cool. Simulator. Look at that. Parked over at ACI. Go to ACI. Do your biz over there. And I mean, it's equally as convenient a place to park. So, cool. Hot Brad tip. Okay. Beacon on. We're hot, so we don't need to prime here. We got there. Avionics on. Oh, there. Okay. All right. Let's get all of our weather, all the weather information we need to know here. So nothing probably changed here.
13, dew point 11, altimeter 29er97, arriving and departing runway 29er.
Hey guys, how's it going, man? Happy Friday.
Use. Read backhaul runway assignments and hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact. You have information, Mike.
Okay, so it did change.
San Luis County Regional Airport. 8 is information, Mike. 0456 Zulu. Wind 320 at 9er. Visibility 10. Ceiling 1200 broken. 7,000 overcast. Temperature 13. Dew point 11.
Okay.
Altimeter 299ers. Arriving in...
It's probably not going to come through, but let's just see if we can get it on the ground. That would be great, but we're probably not going to be able to. Let's check it out. At the end of a very long day, and another one tomorrow. Well, I'm glad that you are unwinding with us, Eyes. All right, Kenny, have a great one, man. Happy Friday. Okay, yeah, I'm not getting any. Oh, actually, you know what? AWAS is not simulated here, so that's not going to help us. So we'll just use the San Luis information for right now, at least. Let's tower ground. All right, 21. It's funny because this is a pretty big airport. Like physically big and has commercial flights, but it's still a Delta. Like I'm still in the like look for the clearance delivery frequency. Okay, so that should be, and I would have it in COM 2, but COM 2 doesn't really work, so I'm just going to put it in here to remind me it's 22.7 is Oceana. Okay. We'll just tell her we're at ACI. Just to practice. To practice that. Oh, that's the wrong airport. Taxiways. Yo, Mike. St. Louis ground, good evening. Skyhawk 53176 with information. Mike over at ACI, ready to taxi.
53176, St. Louis ground, runway 29er, taxi via Alpha.
Alright, it's 29er via Alpha 53176, and we're going to be departing to the south to Oceana. In case you care, Geneva, but she doesn't care. Does not care. Clear to left, clear to the right. Taxiway Alpha 229. To go get some cheap gas at one of the coolest airports in the country. This is cool. This is a cool thing. And what's freaking amazing, so just this whole scenario, guys, I am practicing a flight, what is it, 362 mile flight in an airplane by myself in Southern California. I'm practicing for that flight in a simulator that looks freaking real, in a plane that looks exactly like the one that I'll be flying, using live humans as air traffic control, with my freaking CFI watching me do that. I can't think of a better way to learn than the combination of all that. Smart co-pilot is missing, yeah. Yeah, the last thing I need is Brad virtually reaching over to pull my power. Just hit Shift F. It's like, oh no, you lost power. Shift F. No, I didn't.
Approaching runway 29.
I spend enough time sitting in that fucking thing with you as it is. I know that would be a bit much. Oh my god, poor Brad. It's torture. It is torture for him. Oh yeah, I had it in here already. So it's 22.7. Okay, it's almost over. St. Louis Tower, Skyhawk 53176, holding short 29 at Alpha.
Air 53176, St. Louis Tower, southbound departure approved, wind 3209 on runway 29 clear for takeoff.
Alright, 29 clear for takeoff, southbound departure approved, 53176. Soft. Lights. Camera. Action. All the way to my
Approaching runway 29.
Thank you, for flight lady. Happy Friday to you too. Haven't said hello to you today. I think something's going on between For Flight Lady and Nightbot. They've been... Every time I come into the room, they like quickly move away. It's weird. Okay, full back pressure and the nose comes up. Awesome. Everything is in the green. Punch it. Lift off. Tap the brakes. Let the nose come down. Let the speed build up. There it goes. Brad Ucci really likes ground effect. He's like, yeah, dude, just like push it down. Like when you're taking off, just like push it down, keep it in ground effect. But that's a little debatable. We can maybe talk about that. But positive rate, flaps are coming up. And the pattern altitude, I think, is just 1,000 from what I remember at Oceano. Yeah, it's just an even 1,000. Spoken like a man who has never had a low energy engine failure. You just want to get up, right, Brad? Oh, actually, that looks like a better route to go. Let's go this way. This doesn't really show up in the charts all that well, but let's... That's like a little nice little valley that has a road. So instead of going over these hills and, you know, I mean, they're not mountains, but instead of going over those little hills, let's do over this road. We'll take this road to the coast, and that will keep us in range of plenty of nice places to land, and we won't have to get like super aggressive on the climb out too. So it's a lot easier to survive an engine failure from 500 feet and 70 knots than 70 feet and 100 knots. 500 feet and 70 knots versus 70 feet and 100 knots. You can buy it. Yeah, because you really don't need it to speed up that much. You just need it to get to VX, really. You know, in like worst case VY. You know, if you get to that 75 and then start pulling away. And he wasn't having me. I mean, he wasn't saying like, you know, get to 100, but you know, you definitely get up, get out. Okay, so this is the better way to depart there for sure. That way you don't have to do any like funky dumping of altitude coming off, coming down into Oceano. Oceano traffic, white Skyhawk, 5 miles to the north. I'm going to cross over at pattern altitude, enter a left downwind for 29 Oceano. Research assignment on the way southbound. Okay. Are you going to hit me with it now? Because I might not go all the way southbound right now. Oceano traffic, white Skyhawk, 1,200 over the coast. Oceano traffic, white Skyhawk, 1,200, 3 miles to the north. I'm going to cross over at 1,000, enter a left downwind, 29 Oceano. I wanted to mulligan on that one. Go avoid the high impact first. High speed impact first. Okay. Oceano traffic, white Skyhawk, 1 mile to the north over the coast, crossing over at 1,000, left downwind 29 Oceano. Okay, let's bring it down to pattern altitude. Mixture's in, lights are on, both in, lights, master, mags, looking good. Oceano traffic, white Skyhawk entering left downwind 29, full stop Oceano. There it is, right below us. I think this is an RV park right here, but it is just a bunch of trailers. Okay, and we can turn that one. Let's get the first bunch of flaps in there because we kind of crossed over towards the departure end. And I am going to be eyeing that road that is basically parallel to the airport. We got plenty of fields here. It's a little bit far, okay. It's one of those things that if you're actually in the plane, being able to look over your shoulder, you probably wouldn't get that far away. But yeah, like that's a little bit too long. What's up, flight? Happy Friday. Oceano traffic, White Skyhawk, turning final 29, full stop Oceano. God, look at the view from this airport. That's crazy.
Short final runway 29.
Thank you, for flight lady. That is so nice. Yeah, that is a little bit high. This is going to be perfect for our parking spot. That was a floater. Oceano traffic, White Skyhawk clear of 29, Oceano. And taxiing to gas. Right? What the hell do you say? And then we do the gas loop. Be careful of the buildings and parked aircraft along the taxiways. Go really, really slow. Not sure yet. Cute little V-tail. All right. Here is the gas man. Okay, Brad, so you want, just check, make sure our red line run up here didn't, transponder failed. Okay. Okay, let's get out. That was a perfect spot. Fuel Master Plus. So that looks easy. Make sure to ground it. Put the little clip on the exhaust. And, well, you know what? If we're going to be thorough, we might as well be thorough. There you go. Let's see. I like how the model's the sound of the gyro spinning down. Yeah, that's pretty sweet. Yeah, so he had you accelerate to what VXVY in ground effect before climbing. Yeah. Basically, I mean, it wasn't like that's what he wanted. I mean, he was like, yeah, you just like, I mean, you can push the nose down, and you know, we kind of felt that ground effect cushion. He's like, and just like build up the speed, and then and then pull up, and then get out of there. But yeah, I mean, I can go back and look at that footage too and see exactly what he said, because it actually might not be in that footage. Now that I think about it, it might not be, because I don't think I had it running when we were in the pattern. So I think I may have missed in fact, I know for sure I missed that. But yeah, that was essentially that was essentially what it was. So in the POH, there are expanded procedures for both soft and short field takeoffs. In those procedures, there is a specific speed that it has listed as speed at 50 feet. I know for a fact that it's in the short field. It might be in the soft field. Speed at 50 feet. Okay. Was that the homework assignment? My research project? Okay. So we can go to Cessna, POH. Whoops. And let's put whatever we learn here into practice during this takeoff. Okay. Section 1, general performance, normal procedures, 4. It should be under normal procedures, I'm assuming. So we're going to go to... That might be too far. That's weight and balance. Oh, that's 7. Yeah, that's way too far. There's 4. Cruise, takeoff, crosswind, takeoff, wing flap setting, power check, magneto check. Actually, this won't be probably. Yeah. Oh yeah, no, this is just on ForeFlight. Like I can switch it. It takes a second for all the pages to go flipped, but yeah, that is something that ForeFlight does. It's really nice though, because I'll often sit in bed and read it, and when it's white, it's like blindingly white. Okay, so section 4, crosswind. So it's probably in like stall spins. It's probably going to be at the end. Okay, normal landing, crosswind, balked, short field landing. Maybe we missed it. Hot weather. Yeah, I think it's back further. Takeoff, before takeoff, taxiing. No, is it not in? Okay, here we go. So short field landing, airspeed 65, 75, flaps up. That's short field landing. Hello. Short field takeoff. Flaps 10, brakes apply, throttle full open, mixture full rich. Maximum, yep, okay. Brakes release, elevator control slightly tail low. Climb speed 56 until all obstacles are cleared. Wing flaps retract slowly after reaching 60. Okay, so that's a short field. So it says climb speed 56 until obstacles are cleared. Normal takeoff, short field, cruise before landing, short field. What's up, Scooby? Wind might be lower than 15 knots tomorrow. Nice, dude. That'd be good. If it dips below 15 knots, it must have been crazy. So, where are you at, Mr. Softfield? So we got short field. And Brad, what was speed at 50 feet. Oh, it has specific speed that it has listed as speed at 50 feet. Yeah, I don't see, I mean, it's not in that checklist. Is it in like a procedure? So we got crosswind, we got cruise, leaning, 50 degrees, rich of peak. Short field landing, we don't really need that. Approach at 61. Damn. Performance, so maybe, let's see here, short field takeoff distance, that's distance. Yeah, it wouldn't be in performance, would it? You found half of it. Yeah, I need to find the soft field. So, did I miss it? Or is it, are you saying it's in here? In 5. Screenshots already. So I'm looking for this for soft field, right? Is there no index in this thing? A glossary of terms, in which page to find them. Takeoff performance, ground roll, total distance over 50-foot obstacle. Okay, it's not going to help us. That's a blank one. That's blank. Limitations, emergency procedures, normal procedures, performance, weight and balance, airplane and systems description, handling, service and maintenance, supplements. So yeah, it should be under normal procedures. 4.5 and 4.25. Okay. Yeah, no, this is, yeah. Sorry, Scooby. Yeah, this is for the real plane. Okay, so 4.5. Well, let's see, 4. Normal takeoffs are accomplished with the wing flaps 0 to 10 degrees. Using 10-degree wing flaps reduces the ground roll and total distance over an obstacle by approximately 10%. Flap deflections greater than 10% are not approved for takeoff. If 10 degrees wing flaps are used for takeoff, they should be left down until all obstacles are cleared and a safe flap retraction speed of 60 knots is reached. On a short field, 10-degree flaps and an obstacle clearance speed of 56 knots should be used. Here we go. So soft or rough field takeoffs are performed with 10-degree flaps by lifting the airplane off the ground as soon as practical in a slightly tail-low attitude. If no obstacles are ahead, the airplane should be leveled off immediately to accelerate to a higher climb speed. When departing a soft field with an aft CG loading, the elevator trim should be adjusted towards the nose down direction to give comfortable control wheel forces during comfortable control wheel forces during the initial climb. Okay. So it doesn't, it just says the nose should be leveled off immediately to accelerate. So that is good, right? If no obstacles ahead, yeah. Yeah, so if you're I mean, if you're at John Wayne practicing it, then for sure, you know. But yeah, if you're actually doing a soft field and it happens to be a really long soft field or something, flaps 10, climb at VX until clear of obstacles, then accelerate. Okay, now look at page 4.5 for the at 50 foot notation. Okay. So, all right, okay, short field takeoff. Here we go. So takeoff. Short field takeoff, flaps 10, speed at 50 feet, 56 knots. So there's the speed at 50 feet is 56 knots. Okay. Generally, most fields that are soft will also be short. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, 56 knots is a good amount slower. Okay. That is super cool. Yeah, I mean 74 knots. I mean that's VY. So, yeah, so you're like, you know, 6 knots slower than VX until you've cleared that obstacle. Yeah, freaking interesting. So if you're waiting for VX to clear the obstacle, you're going to use up more distance than the charts give you. That's what the procedures are designed for. Yeah. Okay, so you got to so really what Uchi was saying is was completely correct in the situation that we were in. If you just replace the hard surface for a soft surface, you know, at Fullerton, and just say, okay, now this is a 2,500 foot long grass field, for example, then sure, rotate, get the nose down, build up the speed until, you know, the departure end or whatever, and then, and then, you know, climb out at VX or VY or whatever. And really VY in that circumstance, you wouldn't need to climb out at VX if there's no obstacles and it's a long runway, right? So yeah, okay. And again, like you've said, Brad, many soft fields are short fields. So to get in the habit of kind of treating the soft field with a short field or obstacle component, you know, you're going to be better off if you're treating that soft field as a short field as well. So yeah, I was always taught that soft field was how the POH said to do it. The way the numbers would be accurate. Yeah. Yep. Got it. Okay. So is there anything else while we're looking at this? Landing approach, flaps up 65, 75, normal approach 60 to 70, blah blah blah. Best angle at sea level 62. That is definitely an angle. That is like right in my eye. Okay. Back into Fantasyland, and let's go to it's actually not even really, we're not going to be clear of anything. Let's just take off from here just to simulate the taking off from Oceano, and then we'll be not on the network. So beacon is on, and let's get this thing started up. So we got fuel. Oh, we should actually probably put fuel in the plane like we said we were going to. Okay, we're winding up. We'll give it a little baby fuel pump. There we go. We're gonna pull that back out. Yeah, that gyro sounds freaking awesome. I'm glad you can actually hear that. Yeah, that's cool. Okay. Parking brake on. There we go. Mm-hmm. All right. Oceano, we are leaving your pretty little face. So let's get our nav on. iPad. Get that out of there. Okay, so we're leaving ACI. It's a little fuel thing here. There's a porta potty in case I have to go to the bathroom again after leaving San Luis Obispo. Okay. Go to our taxiway diagram. Which is kind of funny. I mean, there's no like taxiway marking. Oceano traffic, white Skyhawk, crossing runway 11, Oceano.
Approaching runway 11.
Oceano traffic, white Skyhawk, taxi back to 29 for southern departure, Oceano. Is this a drone? What is this situation here? Hello, friend. Yeah, I like the drones. I really do like the drones in Pilot Edge for en route stuff, but when you're at an airport, it's kind of the worst. The one that's really bad is Santa Paula. Whatever data X-Plane uses is different from, or like slightly off from whatever Pilot Edge uses. So the planes, it's all barons. It's just like nothing but barons flying in and out of there. Taking off and landing off the taxiway. It's freaking crazy. Yeah, it's ridiculous. And I think they're going backwards too. Yeah, where are you going, buddy? All right, let's. Hey, and we just read in the Cessna POH that taking off with flaps greater than 10 is not approved. What do you plan on doing, Mr. No Engine On Flaps 30 Cessna? Huh? Frickin' crap, man. You should probably open up the doors too. So you're gonna do your run up, and you're gonna get out of my way, dude, or what? What are you doing? I guess we can do a run up too. Yeah, super creative tail number, jackass. Oh yeah, 172s do have cup holders. I don't think they're necessarily standard, but at least the one that Brad and I fly has like a little center console thing here with a cup holder. I don't know the history of the interior appointments of 172s, but yeah. Okay, so suction cup holders. All right, let's make this a soft field. So we're going to be up at 56 knots until we've cleared the obstacle, and then we're going to climb out at 60, 64, and live happily ever after. Our model and later have the center ones from the factory. You can of course put one in any 172. Yeah, because that thing that's in 176 is just like a little plastic thing, right? You should be accelerating through 56 knots. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, that's what I. You should be accelerating through 56 knots at 50 feet toward VX. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Full back. Oceano traffic, white
Approaching
Skyhawk,
runway
departing
29. Entered runway 29.
Oceano.
2,200
Yes.
feet remaining.
Thank you very much. I don't know why you're up so loud right now.
That happens fast, eh?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Jeez. Okay, so now there's our wheelie. Everything's in green. It's 56, that's 50 feet, right? And we're good. Positive rate. Flappage coming up, and we're gonna fly per the noise abatement procedures out to the coast before making any turns. Poor tail tie down. Nah, dude, that wasn't a tail strike. Come on, man. You know I'm not about tail strikes. No way. It probably bounced off it a little. It probably kissed it once. It's actually going. Let's go to this cam. Static cam. Alright. Solid. Alright, this will be good. How's that look? Alright, here we go.
Approaching runway 2. Entered
Yeah,
runway
the nose
29.
goes up so fast, it's
2,200
insane.
feet remaining.
It's so freaking crazy. Yeah, it pops up like immediately. Well, Artson, there's a drone flying around over here, so. Oh, nope. Nope. Didn't get there. Didn't hit it. That was really close. That was really close, though. Yeah. Are these practices for upcoming IRL short field takeoffs? Well, yeah, I always do. So Brad has, I wouldn't say it's not like a deal, but I guess a rule now that I can't do a normal takeoff with him. Oh yeah, that thing got close. That got close. Got it, yeah. I feel like IRL it takes way more to push. Takes way more push than that to keep it in ground effect. Oh crap. Hello. Yeah, and it's also a lot easier to feel like when you need to start letting go of that full back pressure, and here you just have absolutely no feel whatsoever, which is why it is as good of a tool as this is to learn procedures and to practice for upcoming flights. It's almost useless for practicing actual flying techniques. Like, it's good to go over the concepts of it, but I never get like frustrated or upset like in the sim if I do something wrong that I know I have down in the real plane, because you don't have any force feedback. It's stupid. So like anything around the airport, like I'm just looking like, what does the airport look like? What do the taxiways look like? How should I be flying an approach? And think about it, even if it's something that's harder to replicate. Like flying in the pattern in the sim, like forget about it. It's so difficult to have the spatial awareness, to be able to look around and glance at things and like, quickly glance at the altimeter and look back. I mean, just from like frame rate issues, like it takes a second to like focus in on the numbers that you're looking at and then going back there. It's essentially worthless. But yeah, exactly nightmare. Yeah, it's great for checklist procedures. IFR is great. But yeah, I don't fly a realistic sim until I'm getting in the airlines. Even the Redbird motion sims are unrealistic. Yeah, it's all unrealistic for actual flying, but it's really great for repetition. I constantly talk to Brad about connections with sports and basketball and stuff. I played basketball in college, and it is it's just the muscle memory, it's the repetition. And if you're not actually flying if you're not flying in real life every day, there's no better way to get that experience than by doing this. That's the level C piece of dog shit. I got my CE 500. That's a major flight control differences. Yeah, and for new people to the radio, PE helps a lot. PE helps a lot. It's so fantastic. All right, bring it down to 100 lap around, 50 lap around the pattern. Yeah, 50 laps is a lot more doable. For sure more doable. Okay, so we have 9 minutes left of Pilot Edge. So if we go to info, let's see what Santa Barbara approach that we have in the area. We can Santa Barbara approach. Good evening, Skyhawk 53176. We're 9 miles to the south of Santa Maria, climbing through 3,300, looking to pick up flight following to Santa Barbara.
53176, Santa Barbara approach, Santa Barbara, altimeter 2989er, squawk 6414 item.
6414. Okay, 6414 53176. Did you say 89? And was that 89 on the altimeter?
6, your radar contact 3 miles south, correction north, west of Guadalupe VOR, Santa Maria, altimeter 2997.
97, okay. Okay, 2997 53176, thanks. 997, there we go. Guadalupe, that's fun to say. Guadalupe. Brad, I forgot to ask you, do we have a time for tomorrow? It's probably not like... We can take that offline. That's probably not... Our schedules are not really... Don't need to be broadcast. So IRL, would you just go straight into the request or establish contact first, or would it be traffic dependent? I would say it's traffic dependent. I would just go right into the request if it was quiet. Some of the the SoCal Basin frequencies seem to be pretty busy, and if you can just get in your, I don't know, it depends, because there are times like we got some spicy guy last weekend when we were picking up flight following. That's like, yeah, what do you want? You know, we I think Brad cold called him, and he's like, you know, what do you want? Hoping you get paid. Hell yeah. If there's no traffic, then you can probably interrupt the controller's Netflix. Yeah. Yeah, it's just kind of dependent. I mean, same with Pilot Edge too. Like, I know Marcus and Goldsy are really against the cold call, but sometimes it's just, it gets so busy that you know, some controllers do like that cold call, because if you just jump in, if you think you've got a space where you're just jumping in and you read that whole thing stepping over somebody else, and it's a huge pain in the butt, at least on Pilot Edge. But in the real world, you can kind of gauge the traffic, and you know, when, you know, if you flip onto an approach frequency off of an airport and you're getting flight following in the air and you don't hear anybody for like 5 seconds, you're probably fine. You know, you could probably just go right into whatever you gotta do. Yeah. Try the next sector.
Romeo Juliet, Almonte Tower, turn the left base, runway 19er cleared to land, wind 2108.
Cool. All right, well, like, I think we've established that will be 4,500 from John Wayne to Van Nuys, and then 6,500 from Van Nuys to San Luis Obispo. And that's a good plan. And then we'll be 5,500 on the way back. Fort Hood. Oh, Austin. Got it. Okay. I didn't get to your comment there, Flight. I'm like, AUS, like I would assume that's Austin, but you never know with these codes. Some of them are just out of nowhere. Yeah, Texas is actually where my dad got his private license. And oh, Brad, you'll love this one. So my dad was a Navy pilot. He flew A4s T2 Buckeyes and A4s in the Navy. And he was like halfway through jet school, I think, or halfway through T2. Like he hadn't transitioned to the A4, I think. And he was with one of his buddies, thinking that he wanted to get his private license. He's like, why not? Like, I'm already learning how to fly. I might as well just get my private pilot's license while I'm doing this. So he went to, he was out in Texas. I can't remember. I mean, it's back in the early 70s, like late 60s, early 70s. So, I mean, it was like the Wild West for aviation compared to now. And he was learning how to fly, I think, a 152, like 172, 152, and he still had his private, and he was he was cleared to solo, to do like a cross-country solo, as a student, was telling his jet buddy that he was going to do this flight. He flew the 152 to another airport to pick up his wingman, and his Navy pilot wingman, and then flew him to the cross country, and then flew him back, and then came back. And he hasn't told me what happened, but he's like, yeah, I definitely got in trouble for that. No shit, man. I was like, wait, so you were still a student? He's like, yeah. And he's like, we thought it would be fun.
Charlie Aircraft local time now 2300. All pilots control positions are now closed. Class Alpha Bravo Charlie and Delta airspace procedures are no longer in effect. All airborne aircraft operating IFR monitor 122.75. All airborne aircraft within Class Bravo Charlie or Delta airspace monitor the appropriate advisory frequency. Pilotage will resume operations at 0800 local. Good night.
Good night, Gina. She doesn't care. Dude, she pulls, I swear to God, at 11, like as soon as she finishes that read-off thing, she pulls the cord, like, from the computer, like, immediately. You do that, I cannot even quantify how bad the penalty would be. Yeah, dude, it's freaking crazy. And that's why I'm curious, like, what actually did happen. Like how much trouble he actually got in, or not, because he, like, got his private license and, like, flew in the Navy and landed jets on an aircraft carrier and all kinds of crap. But, yeah. Now, they did a bunch of stupid stuff in the jets, too. Like, good Lord. It was a very different time. And that's where, I'm telling him, like, all the requirements now. He's like, dude, I didn't do any of that. Like, what are you talking about? It's like 3 hours of simulated instrument times. Like, what are you talking about? I think the guy his instructor wanted him to solo the plane after, like, the first 30 minutes or something. That's about the only redeeming factor. Dude was already a well-accomplished jet pilot. Yeah, but they're like in their 20s, like early 20s, jet pilots in the Navy. Like you don't get much of a I am completely consequences don't exist in my world than that. Like, I don't know. That's crazy. But yeah, it was just a much different time in aviation and FAA, and I even said to him when he was telling me that, I was like, I would love to go back and find some like historical documents and some FAA stuff for 1970 and see what what the actual regulation differences were, what the requirements were to be a private pilot in 1970. It's probably like a quarter of what it is now in terms of all the stuff you have to do. But it's definitely a different time. Imagine you're starting your trading in a 300 knot tandem turboprop. Yeah, the first plane he ever flew was a, you know, T-34. What's up, Alec? Nice, dude. That's awesome. Yeah. What type of headset? Does Santa Barbara close down? Yeah, Santa Barbara's closed. Well, that simulates nicely. Santa Barbara closes at the same time Pilot Edge closes. Nice, Scooby. Yeah, for if you want to be banned, Super K, I guess. I don't know. Well, what did you do? What did you do to be banned? Yeah, that's pretty bad. I don't know. I mean, Super K, why ban you? You got like a cool picture of a little what is that? A TR6 or something? I don't know. What is that? Seems kind of cool. My hammer has dust on it. I know it's been a while. Nice. That looks like a solid solid headset. Yeah, and your profile pic. Oh, that's an MG midget. Sweet. Yeah, those are cool. My mind started to break down at his lack of logic. Why asking to be banned instead of just leaving? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, those are cool. Like a good little MG. Not really. I mean, I do like British cars a lot. I worked a lot around Lotuses, but I'm definitely more of an Italian sports car fan. Using it right now on my PC. Also doing another Discovery flight tomorrow. Nice, dude. Well, congrats, Alec. That's super fun, dude. The DB-11 is very wonderful flight, but that is a ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Because one, it's barely British anymore, and it's a $200,000 supercar. Your little DB-11 there flight has a Mercedes engine, which is good. Are you signed off on solos yet, or that's what you're working toward? No, I've soloed 4 or 5 times, 5 solos. This is the long solo cross country. Yeah, flight. Yeah, Aston signed a deal with AMG, so AMG is now producing all of their engines. I mean, they're like gigantic turbocharged atomic bombs, but it's still not that 6-liter V12, which was basically 2 Ford V6 Mondeo engines that they welded together, and that kind of gets thrown around a lot, but they literally just took 2 Ford V6s and stuck them together, 2 3-liter V6s. So it's like the same bore stroke and everything as that Mondeo V6. Yeah, we just need to sort out factors beyond our control. Exactly. That's a perfect way to put it. Any tips for that first solo jitters? That's a good pick up a straw and suck it up. Yeah, I agree with what Brad says. The nerves will go away immediately, and it depends on where you're at right now, because this is what I felt when I now granted I had between starting training, like I did 2 discovery flights, but between starting training and soloing I had 5.6 hours roughly, so it's like not a lot of time between kind of starting and soloing, so I didn't really have a whole lot of time to like have jitters. But I will say that in that period that I was pre-solo, now that 5.6 hours took, a few months to do, so I did have time in between those flights to think about it. And before I was ready, thinking about it, I was nervous, and I had, some jitters for that. But once you're ready, there's no jitters because you're just ready. Like imagining before I was ready, imagining going up in an airplane alone. I'm like, oh my god, like the CFI is not going to be there. Like, what am I going to do? What if something happens? What if I don't know like all that stuff, because you don't know it at that time. But once you do, and once you're ready to go, then there's really no nerves. I thought at least. Yeah, nerves are a good thing to a degree. They keep you on your toes. Too much is bad, but a little can lead to a hazardous attitude of confidence. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's just the key is when you're ready, you won't have as much nerves. I mean, it's still like an exciting thing. Like, and sometimes it's hard to distinguish between nerves of being excitement and just like nervous for it, like that tingle of adrenaline, and being nervous because you feel like you're unprepared. If you're nervous because you're unprepared, then you're not ready for it. But like I said, when you are ready for it, I found that dispelled all of the nerves of like I'm not ready, because you are ready. 4 years later, and my first solo is still as clear as day in my memory. Yeah, and what's funny is my cross country solo, Brad was there. Brad was there my first cross country solo, which I felt like the first actual solo was crazy, and just like you guys, like I will remember the day forever. But I feel like the cross country flight was way more of a milestone for me, I feel like, because I soloed twice in between that, between my initial, the 3 laps around the pattern deal. It just felt so cool to be up in the air and doing, a Bravo 2 Bravo transitions on my first cross country flight was so cool. That was so freaking cool. You mean when you fly with Bill, you aren't basically... Cross country is a big step for sure. Everyone worries about getting lost. Oh, nice, Nightmare. Yeah. Yeah, learning to fly in LA is pretty amazing for sure. Yeah, Brad just wants to get rid of me. He just doesn't want to have anything to do with it anymore. He's like, dude, just text me when you're back. If ever, like, oh, I'm gonna watch the news, and it's fine. No, I honestly, I don't think it's possible for me and Brad to have more fun in that little plane. It's friggin' hilarious. Everyone I know stalked their students on FlightAware when they were solo. Oh, dude, I don't doubt that at all. I mean, I would just be, I don't know if it's like a no faith thing or just like interested in where they're going, you know? I don't know, Brad. I mean, I am sure, I know that it gets more fun. I know for sure that it gets more fun, but I don't know. It's super. Every time that we go up, it's super fun, and I know I don't have to qualify this because you'll 100% get it, probably even more than I will. But I am really excited to be up in the plane solo. You'll have a blast on your own, and then I can start teaching you my actual bad habits and show you what the airplane can actually do. Yeah. No, I'm really excited for that. You got a taste for that the other day, that short approach. Yeah. No, that was pretty bonkers for sure. Santa Barbara traffic, White Skyhawk. We're gonna be right downwind 25, coming in hot, Santa Barbara. Yeah, for sure, Brad. That was super cool, and I'm definitely excited to learn more about the plane. But it's so great flying with you. And I mean, you guys have seen and heard Brad when we fly together, and you know, he's like constantly teaching, and I don't know. I mean, because I'm there live and have the ability to ask questions live on the spot, you know, in the plane, obviously. Excuse me. You know, it feels a little bit different for me watching the videos because it's, you know, I'm reliving it and listening again to what we talk about, but it's so cool to be in that plane and know what you're going to learn, and then also learn things that you never even thought were, you know, that you'd learn. You know, whereas Tony, Tony was a great instructor, and I had a great time with Tony, and he's really knowledgeable. But you know, like you can tell when there's like a regimented curriculum where you're gonna go, okay, we're gonna learn this, and this, and this, and you go up and you do it, and you're kind of, you know, it's like you're just like checking boxes. Where with Brad, it's more like this real organic, like here's what it is like to be a pilot in all these different situations and what to look out for, and you know, like you get to everything, but in a different way that's a little bit more organic to how the flight is progressing. So that's pretty it's super awesome. First, definite bromance. That's a nice way of saying I won't shut the hell up. It is a nice way of saying you won't shut the hell up. 100%. You don't shut the hell up, and that's the good thing. That's awesome. You guys get that transmission button fixed yet? Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't broken. It was the next time that we flew it, it was perfect. So, I've only ever flown with one CFI, and I'll be with the chief instructor for the first time. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that's super cool. The 141 pilot mill. That's funny. Yeah. Hit doors for the stage, move on to the next student. Yeah. Yeah, and I never I never wanted it to not be fun, because like I'm not doing this to be an airline pilot. I'm doing this to be a pilot, and I don't know. Like I don't even know how to answer that question. Like, what am I doing it for? Because it's like I have some ideas of what I want it to be, but it's just so freaking fun. Yeah, it's not even because I want to. It's like, I mean, it is because I want to. I mean, obviously I'm doing it because I want to, but it almost feels like I have to, and not from like I'm being forced to. It's like I can't not do it. And a lot of it comes from my dad, and like he kind of fell into it. I have that podcast with him where I talked a lot about like
1 mile final runway 25.
How he got into it, and he basically like tested into it. He was like, his friend was like, hey, I'm gonna join the Navy, do you want to come along with me? And he just like, yeah, sure. And his test scores were so high that he got into the aviation program, and just was like, well, this is kind of cool. And then he kept flying after, and it's just like just loved it. And he flew all over with my mom. They were in Florida. Flying for a living is fucking awesome. They lived in Florida and had their little plane in Opelika, and flew to Bimini all the time, and did all this cool stuff, and flew in Northern California when they lived in Walnut Creek, and flew a lot in Washington. And then they sold the plane, and we rented a little Cherokee out of Tacoma. And it was just like I saw this side of aviation that was very particular to my dad, that was not a, hey, you could do this as a career. Like, he never brought that up. He never mentioned that to me one time. And I don't know if he had mentioned it, if I would have like considered it at some point. I mean, I had the Navy basketball coach in my living room trying to get me to go to the Navy, but like I just saw this like scaled down version of what aviation could be from a personal standpoint and a relationship thing. Like, it's something that's so rare for people to be able to do, that you can have friends that have never been in a small plane and go take them on a little sunset cruise. Brad, like the flights that we've been on, where you fly around the mountain and go up the coast and come back. You put an hour on the plane, and it's like, I still think about that flight. I mean, I have that as the background of my phone. I have the background at work, that picture with the sunset and the mountain in the background. It's like just such an unbelievable experience that not everybody gets. and not everyone really can, and I don't mean financially.
Approaching runway 15 right.
Not everybody can go through the training and the process. Like, yes, it's super expensive, but people have more expensive hobbies than this that you don't really think anything of. You know, like people that have those sandrail things, or go dirt biking on the weekends, or, you know, drag race their Chevy Camaro or whatever. It is crazy expensive, but so are other things. But the other things have, the only barrier to entry is the cost. You know, you can get a Dodge Hellcat and go to the drag strip, and you're a drag racer. You know, like, oh, hey gas truck. You know, you can be a drag racer and whatever. But to be a pilot, and I think that's why pilots, you know, if you know somebody else is a pilot, or, you know, has their instrument rating, or, you know, whatever, you instantly go, all right, this dude's good, this dude's cool, he's put in the time, he's put in the effort, he, you know, he's at least marginally responsible. You know, and if someone's at the racetrack and just has a bunch of money because of whatever, and has a nice car and just races it, that's not a sign of character. But to get your pilot's license, I feel like it takes a certain amount of character to do that. So that's why I only instruct certain students now. I don't need the time. I don't do it for the money. I do it because I enjoy teaching. All of the students I choose to teach enjoy learning. That's cool. Yeah, that is very well said, Brad. That's awesome. All right, we'll park next to these weird looking things. I'm cautiously irresponsible. Well, you can't not have some fun. You know, if you know the limitations and you're, you know, it's just kind of like, I mean, I know what you mean, Brad. And, you know, yeah, I know what you mean. Like I fly a stabilized approach down to minimums, but then I'll also go scream down the runway at 10 feet and 180 knots. Oh my God, that was so much fun when you did that. That is so much fun. If there was no risk taking you, would never start the engine. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's just every single time that I'm up in the air, it's just like, it's so cool. And I really want to be able to share this with as much people as humanly possible, because it's more than just what it is. You know, like I've raced some cool cars on some really cool racetracks, and that's really awesome and super fun, but, you know, it doesn't have that same, you know, like, it doesn't have that same feeling of accomplishment, or, you know, like you want to share this with other people. You know, this is really like a community, being part of a community. No, I'm not an EAA member. No, I'm not an EAA member, and I'm not an AOPA member, and I do want to join at least one of those, if not both of those, once I get the license. But I've said to myself, like, just get the license. Just freaking get it. Just get the license. Raced a lot of cars and learned a lot about surface care. Yeah, I've learned way too much about surface care. Good God. Can't thank you, Bill and Brad, for including us in the cockpit like you have. Well, Rye, thank you very much. That means a lot. That means a lot. I'm glad. I'm really happy that Brad enjoys, or, you know, is okay with me sharing all that stuff, because I think it's really helpful to me personally to be able to go over that footage. And if I can do that while streaming and have you guys watch in and help anybody, my riveting Friday night here. Yeah, you know, like it is a very, very, very valuable debrief tool. And the fact that we can share it with you guys is really cool to me. And I hope to continue to do this because, like our good friend Jason Shappert says, a good pilot is always learning.
A good pilot is always learning.
Spent like 13 hours at the airport anyway today. What's 2.5 more talking about fake airplanes? Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, my goal, my hope is that I can share this with as many people as I can in my real life, you know, and you know, in future business ventures where I can utilize it maybe to get to a client somewhere quicker and use that to my advantage. But it's, you know, I have this opportunity here with the stream, with you guys, with the YouTube channel, which is tiny. Like it is a tiny, tiny, tiny little bit in the grand scheme of things. You know, like I love watching Ty and Max and Nico and all these guys, and they have, you know, way more followers and way more viewers and stuff and, you know, all that kind of crap. And I am so happy to be able to share this with any amount of people. And I am like shocked and really humbled that, I mean, right now there's 28 of you right now watching me prepare for a cross-country flight in a 172 on the simulator. I flew, like, we didn't go faster than freaking 110 knots this entire time, and you guys friggin' watched it. Like, that's awesome. Really, really awesome. Yeah, Nightmare, get some sleep, dude. But it's really, really cool, and I want to continue to do this. And you know, I'm lucky enough to be living in an area that is kind of the centerpiece of the simulation world a little bit, with Pilot Edge being kind of focused on SoCal. So I hope to do like more videos and more streams with all this stuff. But you know, I honestly don't think I could do it. Could have done it without Brad. So, you know, everyone is in his debt for his sharing, willingness to share his knowledge, and we're lucky to have people like him that are willing to share their knowledge. People like me that has a computer and a microphone that can, you know, broadcast this crap, and you know, and you guys that join in and cultivate this cool personality. So only CFI on Twitch. Yeah. You do make things more difficult. I will give you that. You do make it tough, but every coach that I've had that made things difficult, you know, when you're out on the court by yourself, you know, those are the moments when you're glad you had a difficult coach or a CFI that made it difficult. So, but that being said, oh my God, I can't wait. I cannot wait to go solo. I feel like it's been forever. And it's been since February since I flew solo, and that was one lap around John Wayne and then came down. So oh my God, I am due. Reminded of the power pole when you asked him what kind of landing you wanted to. Yeah, that was good. That was some good shit. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for watching tonight. I had a blast. It was a lot of fun. We learned a lot of things. Yeah. Scooby, thank you very much. Everybody, thank you. Rigorian, Scooby, hoping for good weather. Yeah, I hope for good weather as well. Quasar, thank you so much. Flight X52, thank you. Nightmare, thank you as well. Who else am I missing? Man, you guys were just going off there for the last little bit. Super K, thanks for stopping by. I'm glad I didn't ban you, and hopefully, you follow maybe. Alec, that's all the people that I have in the chat. If you're lurking here, thank you. Kim, thank you as well.
Cherokee 4 Foxtrot Golf, you contact Gunway Tower 126.8. Good day.
126.8, see ya.
Glad I didn't ban you. All right, guys, get some sleep. I will be on call tomorrow to see if Brad and I can get up tomorrow. And then keep an eye on the weather on Sunday afternoon. Sunday morning looks like it's going to be dog-ass, but maybe Monday will be good. And hopefully we can get our clerical situation sorted in time for that. So fingers crossed. I'll keep you updated. Thank you guys so much. Peace.